so far like we communicating with the services by using the fetch, but in practical environment, when it comes to especially that Angular development, fetch is not going to be used much more. We will be using a separate library. That is what we call it as RxJS, reactive extension for JavaScript. We have a separate library which will be take the responsibility of connecting with the real world API and fetching the data and storing the data and doing all the CRUD operations. Generally, we will be using it. But yesterday, like whatever I have explained, you can see, maybe I'll open the Angular projects. I'll go to the command prompt and open with the help of code space dot. Now this is how it is going to be. I created a service here. As I told you, a service is a reusable block of code. Okay, reusable block of code which can be shared within that application. That means you can share the same within the component directive, or else maybe in the pipe. Anywhere if you wanted to share something, there you can go with the services. And also services enables like lot of features, something like reusability, maintainability, testability, security, performance, etc. And technically a service is a collection of factory. A factory is nothing but it is a set of values and function. And how to create the service also I told you. A service in Angular is a TypeScript class which is having a decorator that is @injectable is the one. And here you will be is one of the very important module when it comes to Angular app development. Not now, but in real time, it is very important for you to understand how to connect with the backend application. What an Angular will do in general, what is the purpose of an Angular, what you understood so far. It just use it to get the data with some performance and display the data in the front end, right? By doing some task at the front end application, it just fetch the data and display that particular data in the front end. Am I right? Yes or no? What a component will do? Component is a reusable piece of UI. Suppose once if I create a component and that component I can use it in anywhere by calling that with the help of a selector, right? That is what a component will do. And coming to the directive, directives are going to be what? We can reuse the functionality only. Suppose I wanted to add dynamic, create some dynamic HTML. Suppose I have 10 records in my database. I wanted to display that in a table. Do I need to create 10 TR tags? No need. Simply if I am using ngFor, ngFor will take the responsibility to iterate the table row and display all the data in the screen or not. Yes or no? And you may take a pipe. Pipe is just use it for what? Without changing that actual value, we are going to display the transformed value. Suppose from the back end, I am getting the Srikanth in lowercase, but I wanted to give the title case for that one. So such kind of things, if you want to do, we go with the pipe concept. And to share the data from one to another, we use that @input and @output, or else to apply, maybe let's say some coloring, or else some styles. If you want to do that, then we go with the ng style and ng class. So all these are happen at front end so that the burden on the server will be reduced. That will improve the performance of your application. That is only the reason where we are going to work with what? Angular application. That is only the purpose. Angular, what it will do is, it just manipulate everything on the browser, because browser is an individual item for everyone. Yes or no? If you wanted to open the Facebook, you need to install the Google Chrome in your mission. That is an individual to you. Within your browser, can I open the Facebook? Is it possible? I can't, because a browser is a standalone application which is installed for every user mission. so that the performance is also depend on the system that what you people are using. That won't be an impact on the server that what I'm having it on my backend. So everything is going to be individual processing, so that we are able to see great result with respect to the performance. Now coming to here, that is the main reason where the Angular is going to be. Angular is used mainly to do the data manipulation. But from where that Angular will get the data? So far we prepare the dummy data for a couple of example. Later I told you, as because of I don't want to prepare the same dummy data, I just connect with what? Fake store API, and then I'm able to get the data or not. By connecting with that endpoint, am I able to get the data or not? Yes or no? So that means we should always, any Angular application you can take, we should always connecting with that API and get the data. That is the very frequent change, very frequent change requests that what we are performing in our day-to-day activity as an Angular developer. So to do this particular activity, Angular is having a built-in library, that is what we call it as a RxJS, reactive extension for JavaScript. And to write that particular code, Angular is created a separate element, that is what we call it as a services. Shrikant, why do I need to write that in the services? Why not in the component? In component also you can write. No need to worry about it. But if you can write it in the component, the problem is components will create it multiple times. Understood? Every time when you are executing, when you invoke the component, an object is getting created. But that services, as I told you, it will follow a singleton pattern, and the data that what we are having, which will be shared across the multiple elements of that Angular. Maybe you can share it in the component, or maybe you can share it in a directive, maybe you can share it in a pipe, maybe you can share it in a, let's say, custom directive, custom component, anywhere you can share. That is the main advantage where you can have the services. Now, to create a service, we have what? It is a TypeScript class, which is having a decorator, that is @injectable is available. @injectable is the decorator that what we are having. Now here you can see, I created a CAPTCHA service yesterday. I used what? Import injectable from @Angular/core, and also I use @injectable, and then I'm using what? Provided in root that what I have given. Now the first important interview question here is, what are the, okay, so the question is going to be, what are the various provided in locations for a service that what I can say. So the very important interview question, yesterday also I told you, I'll explain you about this today. Now you can see it provides you three options to you. The first one is going to be what? Any. Second one is the platform. Third one is going to be the root that we are having. By default, it is root only. By default, it is root. But if you wanted to give the remaining two, you can. That means we have three options. First one is the root. When I say about the root, root is something like, okay, root is something like refers the current application level that what I can say. Very important interview question this is. Root refers the current application level. Current application in the sense, when we create a new topic, I created that application, right? ng generate application, and I'm giving some name of that application or not. So if you people wants to give, or else like give an access of your service only at application level, then always give what? Root you can give. Second approach is going to be, we have the second one. The second one is going to be, maybe I can say platform. Okay, otherwise you may write like, the platform. It refers, okay, platform refers current module level, that what I can say. That means when I am giving here provided in as going to be the platform. Suppose let's say I'll be giving like, the provided in platform. I'm able to access this particular service only in this login module components. Suppose let's say I have another module there, I wanted to access the same service, then it won't provide you the support. So when do we go for means it's all about business requirement. Nobody can say like, oh, no, this requirement you can go like. If someone says you, there are like couple of methods. Maybe let's say I have a finance module, and in finance module I have written couple of services where it can get like, the customer information. It contains some customer balance and all. But in my project, you can take like, Naresh IT as an example. I have a trainer module is there and student module, both are available. If that is the case, this finance information, I don't want to share it to the student, right? And the finance information, I don't want to share it to the trainer also. And again, about the trainer detail, I don't want to share it to the student. And the student details also, I don't want to share it to the trainers or finance department. Like that, if you wanted to maintain your data with some abstraction, that means hiding something from one module to another module, then at that time, create your services with the help of what? With the help of what? Provided in what? Platform has to be given. And the third one is going to be, we have what? Any is available. Any is going to be workspace level. The third level is going to be any is available. Any is going to be what? Refers the service is available at workspace level. Workspace level, I can say. Workspace level. That means in my workspace, I have 10 projects, and those 10 projects I wanted to use it, the same service. Then at that time, you can give provided in as going to be what? Any you can give. Understood? Clear? Like suppose, let's say I want to have like, that address information of the Narech IT that is required for the finance people, that is required for like student, that is required for the trainers who are there, the part of the Narech IT, so that that information I can visible to all. I can provide a visibility for all the people. At that moment, I can create a service to get that address info, and then provided in is going to be any, if I'm giving, that can be available in all that applications that Naresh IT is having. So like that, we have three options are available. It's very important to know about it. Clear, everyone? Any doubts on this? Specific component level we can't maintain. We have three options, either module or application, or the third one is what? What is the third one? Workspace level. That's it. But by default, like, 99% of the scenario, we use the root. Why we use the root also, there is a justification for that. I told you in very beginning, workspace environment is not adapted by all the companies. Companies, they created that individual projects, some company. But Srikanth, why you worked on the workspace environment is, I told you I'm working on around 60 plus projects in my One is root you can give, or else any you can give, or else the third one is going to be platform. Very good. Platform is available. Platform. This is where at service level only we configure like where the service is going to be used. Suppose you people have not given here. Then do we have any other option? Yes, we do have an option. That is what module level. You can see. I don't want to give anything at service level. I wanted to give it module level. Then open the module. At module, we have the providers are available. There you can specify your service. That is also yesterday I have explained. That means at module level, you can do with the help of ng model. Let's say ng module, ng module. And here, what you can do, you will be using what? Providers, and then you can give the service. That is also possible. And the third one is going to be at component level. Now you can see, so far we have seen component metadata items are going to be selector, template URL, style URLs, template and styles, right? 5 we have seen, but we have the sixth option is also available. That is what we call it as a provider. Now this providers is the optional here. You can observe that. It is an optional. That means whenever it comes with a question mark, that is that optional one, or else nullable type. No need to give like, the value for that particular one. When I give the providers here, and then I can go with, the name of the provider, that is going to be captcha service, that what I can give. This is also possible. So total we are having 3 options. If I am giving like this, then what happened? We can access at component level only. I'm sorry, like I forgot this one. Now I came to know providers. Captcha service. Like that you can give. Very, very important interview question. This is also. Services is like, very frequently asked questions in services. Because if you don't know how to work with services, then that is not going to be possible to become a web developer, Angular developer especially. And the third question is going to be, okay, what is the difference between a factory and a service? This is the general question that what you people are getting. Okay. What is the general answer for this? General question, not related to the Angular. Why people are asking this question means, why people are asking this question is, as I told you, services uses the singleton pattern, right? So factory is also going to be one of the design pattern right now. That is the reason they might ask the question, but this is not related to that Angular. Even you can get the same question in your Java or .NET also. Java, .NET, same. Because like this service, factory, all these are what we call it as design patterns. It's a design pattern generally. So, okay, maybe you can write that answer for this. You can write an answer for that. Write down. Factory uses single call where an object is created every time, when function is required to execute. That means, as I told you yesterday, factory is nothing but it is a collection of functions. Simply I can say it is a function. When the function will be called? After creating an object of the class only, right? I created an object of the class and then I am able to call that one. That is what we call it as single call. Every time it is going to be a single call, that what we are having. That is what we call it as a factory. And then coming to A service uses a singleton pattern. A service uses singleton pattern where object is created. Object is created for the first request. For the first request. Okay, for the first request, and the same object same object is used across all the request, that what I can say, and the same object is going to be used across all the requests. That is what, like, the services and factory. So both are important. And the next question is going to be how to inject services. How to inject the services? How to inject the services? With the help of constructor. So you can go with private and some reference variable name, and you can give service class. So this is the one. And if, I mean, this is not much important generally, like why do we go for that access modifier as private means to configure this particular parameter that should be accessed only within the class, within the component class only. You wanted to provide an access, then you can give. So you can I go with the public? Yes, you can, not an issue. But why I use the private means private members are going to be less scope. Scope is very less, and that is going to be used for abstraction purpose only again. Because like as an object oriented programming developers, we should have to take care of each and everything. Yeah, these are the important question. There is one is available, that is lazy loading and eager loading. I mean, some people, like, they might ask a question that I have a service and I am going to configure that at module level, and I have a service, I have configured that at service level. That means here we have two levels are available, right? Two levels are available. One is at what? Service level. Second one is at what? Module level. Which one is the good practice that what you're following? Okay, if you're following service level, how it get execute? If you're following at module level, how it get execute? That is what, when I say about the module level, that is going to be eager loading. By default, it is eager loading. When you configure like anything at service level, that is what? Lazy loading. So what is mean by lazy loading and eager loading? Any idea? Okay. I'll ask you a simple question here. I'll try to open, let's say, Flipkart application. The Flipkart is having like, the lot of applications over here. I mean, lot of products over here. Until unless, if I click on like, let's say, home and kitchen, or else fashion, or else the mobile, is it really required to load the data? Tell me. Do you understand my question? Right now, I'm at my home page. Okay. Right now, I'm at my home page. Okay, this is the home page that what I'm having. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, this is the home page. Now you see, I have like, the couple of items that are available here. Couple of items that are available here. Now what I just want to do is, until unless if user click on like, this mobile, is it really required to load the mobile data on the screen? Obviously no. Eager loading means what, whenever if you people, okay, whenever if you people execute that application, whole data will come. Either user interacted with that or user is not interacted with that. It doesn't matter at all. Whenever if user executes that application, then by default what happen, it will directly straight away get all the data that what we are having. By default, it will load all the data. That is what we call it as eager loading. And once if it is loaded everything, then only it has to display the data. That is how it is going to be. Now, coming to the lazy loading will load the data based on the demand. That means if user wants to, let's say, click on casual shoes, then only it will get that information about the casual shoes that what we are having here. Until that, it won't load this particular data that we are having. That is what we call it as lazy loading. Lazy loading means on-demand loading. When user interact, then only I can communicating with the server and get the data. Eager loading means all data will be loaded at first request. Okay, that is how it is going to be. And not only that, now you see, I'm just scrolling down. Now, how many products right now I'm able to see here? 6 to 7 product. Is it really required to load the below products? Until I scroll down, it is not required, right? So that is the reason you see, fastly if you can scroll down, there you can see you will be getting, I will show you, suppose let's say, maybe I'll open that incognito mode. When I try to open the flipkart.com, you can see it is taking more time to load. You can just come back here, see there. It is showing me like only few products here, right? You can observe it. It is showing me only few. See there. When I'm scrolling down, then it will load the remaining. See there. Yes or no? So this is what lazy loading. Lazy loading is like one of the beautiful feature that we have it in Angular and React. That means loading the modules based on the requirement. So to learn about the subject we have vast, but anyhow, this is also I'll include for you. Don't worry. I will show you like how to load it, a separate module lazily. That is also I'll include. Just ask me at the end. Maybe I'll include it in the routing or somewhere. Okay. Ask me at the end. I will show you. It's a simple configuration thing. Okay. That is all about. Now here, the very important one, that is the HTTP client. So what exactly the HTTP client? I can say that it is a class, or else I can say that a service which contains various HTTP methods, and those are used to connect with the API and perform the CRUD operations, I can say. So we have a HTTP client. That means, so in the previous example, I created a service by my own. But now what I want to do, I just wanted to connect with this HTTP client service and then get the data. That is what my requirement. So how I can do that one? So to do that one, we have a HTTP client class is available, and by using it. But already we learned about the fetch API. Fetch is used and it is working perfectly fine, right? Then why should I go with HTTP client class? So did you understand what is my question? I have already a fetch method. The question is going to be, what is the difference between fetch and HTTP client and HTTP client service? So the first one is going to be, I can say that, okay, the answer for this one is going to be, this is also somehow important interview question. So the first one is going to be the fetch. and the second one is going to be HTTP client is available. Now coming to here, now when I say about the fetch here, I'll be writing. The first point is going to be, it is not completely related to Angular, that what I can say. The first thing is going to be, fetch is a method which was given by the JavaScript, pure JavaScript, or you can have it in the jQuery. Fetch is not designed by the Angular team, but coming to the HTTP client, it is a service. It is a service created by Angular team, and it is available. It is available in @Angular /common/ HTTP library, that what I can say. That means when I say about the HTTP client, it is available where? HTTP client, when I say it is available where? Just a minute. I'll be taking it and keep it over here. Right. So fetch is going to be, it is not completely related to that Angular, but when it comes to HTTP client, it is related to the Angular, that what I can say. And second one is going to be, it returns data in binary format, so that we cast it into JSON. Are we going to do this one every time or not? By using the then method. I'm using the then, after that I'm taking the data and then I'm converting into .json. So because the fetch method will returns the data in the binary format, but the second point here is HTTP client, okay, it returns data in JSON, so that it returns the data in JSON. So no parsing is required. No parsing is required, that what I can say. That means once if the data is JSON, why should I convert it again? That is the advantage. If you're not doing any kind of parsing, then what happened? The performance is going to be good, right? Yes or no? So that is where the third one is going to be, I can say that the third point is going to be performance is less. And here we will be having more performance. And here we will be having more performance. Here we will be having more performance. And at the same time, here the fourth point is going to be, we don't have a proper error handling defined at fetch. That means fetch is not having a proper error handling, but coming to the HTTP client, it handle errors wisely. Okay, you can handle that errors here in a proper way. We have couple of features are available. And the next one is going to be, fetch is going to be the fifth point. It is synchronous. It is synchronous. And the second one is going to be, it is, what is? Asynchronous. Internally, what happened between the synchronous and asynchronous? Why it is required? What is synchronous and what is asynchronous? You completed .NET and Java, then still if you are looking thread, synchronous means sequence and asynchronous means random. Okay, when it comes to the synchronous and asynchronous, generally, like, the program that what we have written, those are going to be executed like, one by one, line by line execution. If that is the case, if it is a synchronous execution, suppose like I have 10 functions I have written. One function execution completes, then only it will start the second function execution, because all are running under a single thread. That is what we call it as main thread. This is the generic scenario, guys, not related to the .NET or Angular or any other generic scenario, the threading concept. For every function, one function is done, then thread will execute that particular process, and then it goes to the second one, and it goes to the third one, it goes to the fourth one. Suppose let's say I have 10 functions which are defined, and second function may take like, the more time to execute, then the remaining 8 functions are going to be wait until it completes, right? Yes or no? That is the reason what the real time people has done, they created a multi-threading concept. That means every function they are running with the help of a different thread. If that is the case, what happened? For every time when the user executes that application, the requests are going to be segregated, and each request is going to be executed in parallel. So that is where like you will be getting like, all the data at once. When compared with the single thread means what? One request will hit and response will come. Once if the response is going to be processed well, then only the next request will get started. But if it is a asynchronous, it will be like, multi-threaded model, where you can send multiple requests in parallel. For every request, it will assign a different thread, and based on that thread only, the application will get executed. Without having proper knowledge, don't go with asynchronous programming. Seriously. And without having proper reason also, as you know about async and await, don't blindly implement it. It is not a good practice. Here, like, I don't know how, like, they are explained. That concept is important only. But if you don't have a proper understanding about the concept, then the behavior of your logic will be something different in practical environment. Because here hardly like how many records you will be fetching in general? 100, maximum of 200. And in our APIs, like we fetch hardly like, 200 or 300. That's the maximum, right? But in live environment, we will be getting in the production maybe thousands of records. Thousands of records. If we can implement that, like, with the help of asynchronous operation, sometimes it gives like, the odd results also. The behavior is also going to be very odd when you are doing like, such kind of complex operation. So that is where it is very important to know how to write the multi-threading concept. Then only you can use it. Don't blindly, as you know, async and await, don't put it in for every function. It is not the good practice. Okay. So the next one is going to be, as it uses that asynchronous operation, because we have what a couple of things are available in RxJS, we will be using it. So how to work with this one? Let me show you with an example. So to do that one, I'll close others. The very first thing is going to be, this is a service demo. As I'll go to my projects over here, and inside the project, we have what? Service demo is available. Inside that we have the SRC. Inside that we have an app folder. Now what I want to do is, I just wanted to create a separate module now. Okay, from the SRC folder, let me have a separate module. So how to create the module? Because I wanted to like, complete together modules and services, because separate session is not required for the module. It is a simple concept. So that is where I don't want to take it separately. We'll together complete. So the first one, I wanted to create a module, man. So how to create the module? I'll go to the integrated terminal, and let me say, I'll give a clear screen CMD. And here, what I just want to do is, I am creating a module. How to create? NG, G for generate. What I wanted to create? module, and I just wanted to give the name of the module is going to be, let's say, product module, that what I can give, products module, and then skip test I can give. I guess skip test is not required because we are not writing any functions, right? So that is the reason we don't have any functions, so that you can directly use that command. Now you can see the time when I'm creating a module, is it created a separate project, a folder or not? And inside the folder, you can see product.module.ts. Now you can see what we are having here, ng module, and we have the common module, and we have the declaration, and the import section is available. And if you wanted to write any kind of export things, you can write it over there. That's up to you. And the second one, I wanted to create a service over here. That is my requirement. So how to create it? You can right click on the product and then integrate it with the terminal. I mean, open with integrated terminal. There I'll be using the command prompt, and I wanted to create a service. In the last session, I created the service by my own from the scratch, but now I'll be using a command ng g for generate what we wanted to generate, service, and the name of the service, maybe I can say product service, that what I can give, product service, that what I can give. Okay, simple product service, that what I can give, and a service will contain the method. Wherever you have the method, definitely we will be having the test cases file. That is where I'll remove it. Now you can see a service is created here or not. And not only that, if you guys can see, we have by default some logic also. We have what? At the rate injectable, that is provided in what we are having, root that we are having. Root is the default one. If you wanted to give any other, then you can do that, but root is the default one. And the next one is going to be, I wanted to create, like, you know, I just wanted to create a separate component. So that right click, and I'm going to open this one, and where I can go with a command prompt, and then I'm creating a component, ngg, C for the component, maybe I can say product details component skip test I can say, so that automatically the product details component is also going to be created. Clear everything? And not only that, if you can see the module, by default it is getting added to the declaration. Clear? Clear now? Everyone, any questions so far? No, right? Very good, perfect. Now, what I just want to do, I just wanted to write the logic to communicating with my fake store API. The one that what we have seen from these many days, that is a fake store API. And there I have, like, you know, the list of products. When I go with the products, I'm able to get the list of products from here, right? Now I wanted to connect with that and get the data. So how to connect with that? How to connect with that? For that reason only, we will be introducing a new one, that is what? HTTP client is available. Now, as I told you, HTTP client is basically what? It is a service. Just give me a minute. Okay, now I used what? HTTP client as the class, and this HTTP client, as I told you, it is a service, and services use the singleton mechanism, and that object also created with the help of dependency injection. So that how I can do that one? Simply tell me, I'll be using what? Private underscore HTTP, any name you can take. And what is the class name here? HTTP client class. And this HTTP client class is available. HTTP client class is available. From where it is available? At the rate Angular / common / we have what? HTTP reference. Understood? Okay, we have a class. What is the class name? HTTP client class. Now you can read like what it is doing. Perform the HTTP request. This service is available as an injectable class with the methods to perform the HTTP request. Now, what are the HTTP request methods are available? Yeah, correct only. Get, post, put, and delete. That's it. Okay, we have get method. Get is used to get the data. Post is used to insert the data, and then put is used for updation, and delete is used for deletion, and patch is available. I hope I already explained how the patch will work in the forms implementation. Yeah, patch value. It's a partial update. If you want to do that, you can do that. Now, this class is having it. Now, what I want to do, the very first thing is going to be, I created a service. Now this service will contain the methods. A service is a collection of functions, nothing apart from that. Maybe I can say a method which is of type get products, and here I'm going to get that in by using observable. Now here there is a new one that what I am using. What is meant by an observable? Observable will connect with the server and get the data continuously. Understand? Observable means what? You can see a representation of any set of value over any amount of the time. This is the most basic building block of RxJS. RxJS stands for Reactive Extension for Java State, which is a library, and it provides a couple of features, and those features what it will do is it will be used to execute the functionalities asynchronously. Generally, if you wanted to execute something asynchronously, then we go with RxJS. That is a library. The way how we have the forms module, there we have the library, right? Angular/forms, or else Angular/ let's say common/HTTP. That is also a library. In the same way, RxJS is also a library. There it contains couple of features, and each and every feature what RxJS provide, that is an asynchronous call only. Now in that, observable is basically what it will do is, it will provide a continuous communication to the server. Continuous communication to the server and fetch the data from that particular service that we have provided. And also it define what type of data we are going to get also. Now here, maybe let's say I just wanted to get a observable of, suppose I wanted to get like all the product. Am I created any service here? I mean any contract here? No, I haven't created any contract. So before that, what I can do is, I'll be creating some fake contract. I hope you know product detail contract is available, right? Maybe I can use that existing one. Now you can see observable of, I'll be using product detail contract, that what I can use. Now what type of data we are getting here? Product detail contract. Are we getting a single product detail or multiple product? Multiple product, so that I'll be using it. Okay, I'll be using it. Now here, what I want to do, you can see. Now what type of data it is returning? A function whose declared type neither void or any must return a value. Oh, sorry, either data type or any must return a value. So that what data I wanted to return, I am going to return. What I am going to return? This dot HTTP dot, and then you see we have the different method: delete, get, head, JSON, P options, post, put, something that what we are having. But 99.9% we use 4 method: get, post, put, delete. I'll explain you those 4 methods. But right now we will be doing only the get operation for today. I am using the get, and here what I can do is I'll provide the URL. When you open that, and now you can see it is giving me an error still. What is that? the type observable object is not assignable to the type of observable of product detail. That means this will return any type of data, right? The URL endpoint may return any type of data, but what type we specified for this function? It's a product detail. That is what that error. Srikanth, you specified we are taking the data of only the product detail, but how you can give the guarantee that it will give only the product detail type? So for that reason, for this get, what I can do is I am going to give this product detail. Suppose if the any data comes, if any data come rather than the product detail, then I don't want to accept it. So that is how you can set the restriction by using this observable which will continuously connect with the server and fetch the data. But when this is going to be required, Airtel is an observer. Okay, it's an observable. It will connect with the satellite and be ready with the network. But until unless you have an Airtel SIM card, is it possible to connect with that data? Tell me. Just you can imagine, like, this scenario with your mobile providers, network provider, not the mobile, network provider. Generally, we have the network provider like Jio or Airtel. Airtel, you can take an example, which will provide you, like, the lot of facilities to you, like Airtel TV, Airtel Black, or else which will be providing you 5G internet, like that. All these services are available at the satellite, at the cloud only. Almost all the services right now are available at the cloud. Now Airtel is ready with the data which is provided by the cloud. But until you have the SIM card, okay, is it possible to access those services? Now who is the subscriber here? That means if some subscriber is ready to take the data which is observing, okay, then only the usage is available. Otherwise, is there any use of it? There is no use. For that reason, what we are going to do is, at the component level, we will be subscribe the data. What I can do at component level, we will subscribe the data. So for that, first of all, public, I am going to use something like products, and then I'll be using the type as going to be product detail, that what I can give, and initially I am giving an empty value. And after that, I'll be using a constructor. Yesterday, what we have done, the same step. What I have done, I created a service here, right? And any class which contains @injectable decorator, we must have to inject with the help of dependency injection pattern. Now, as the process of it, what I can do, I'll be creating service. And what is my service name? Product service. Where it is available? It is available under the product dot service namespace. I'm having like this. Now, when my application execute, I wanted to get the data. So how I can get it? Ng on init, that what I can use. Ng on init I can use. And here you can see I'll be using this dot service dot. What is the method name we are having? What is the name of the method here? What is the name of the method? See there, in service I created a method with the name get products, right? Get product. Now this method is of type what? Observable. That means it is having some data. Now that data, what we are going to do, we will be subscribe. As a component, I'm subscribing it. Until unless, like, you created 20 services or 30 services, until, like, you call that with the help of subscribe method, there is no need of it. Understood? There is no use of it. Now I'm using what? Subscribe here. Now in the subscribe, what I can do, it comes with 3 functions basically. The first one is going to be the next function, and second one is going to be an error, and third one is going to be let's say it's a simple complete function. What it will do is, next function, what it will do, it will send the request for every packet of the data. Every packet in the sense maybe 10 records or 20 records. That's depend on the data that what we are getting. Suppose if there is a huge volume of the data, if it executed synchronously, then it might take more time to complete the task, right? If it is a single thread, I have 100 record, 100 record is having each record maybe taken like 10 seconds. Then what will happen? These 10 seconds mean each record 10 seconds into 100 mean it's around how much? Around like, an hour it will take. Because if it is a synchronous, but as I told you, RxJS is using what asynchronous calls, right? Yes or no? So that what it will do, it will itself, like based on the data that we are having, it send like, the multiple request. That means it open like, the multiple thread, and it will divide like automatic process. You can't control it. Asynchronous means you don't have, you don't have anything in your hand. The behavior is not like, in your hand. It behaves based on the data, the volume of the data, the behavior will be changed. That is where like, most of the people, they suggest you try to keep the handle with you only. Because if handling is everything is going there, then it's a challenging task for us. What this subscribe method will do is, it comes with like, the next method. What next method is doing, it will send like, the asynchronous calls to that observer and fetch the data next one by one. Like that, it will get the data. Suppose if some exception is going to be happen, we should have to take care of it, right? Yes or no? That is what in the differences, if you can observe that, I told you, we don't have a proper error handling in the fetch, but coming to the HTTP client, it is comes with like, a proper error handling mechanism, and that error handling that you can find it in the next here. Sorry, error here. This is used to handle that error. Error is going to use it to handle that error. And the third one is going to be, we have a complete. Complete is of what type? Void type. What it will do is, suppose if you are getting all the data, then you want to perform some task, or else you wanted to display some message, all the data is read it from the server or something. If you people wants to do such kind of thing, then you can go with an error. Right now, I don't want to confuse you to add like, all those things. Rather, what I can do, I'm going to get like, the data. And then after that, I'll be using this dot products is equal to whatever the data that we are having. I'm going to get that particular data here. That's it. Nothing apart from that one. It is exactly similar to fetch, but fetch is going to be what? Synchronous. And here it is going to be asynchronous. Asynchronous is very important only. Whenever if you are having huge volume of the data, whenever you have like small volume of the data, why should I go with asynchronous? Understood? There is a slight difference that you can decide while you writing the code. Don't think that like, dev environment point of view. Always the code what you people have written, you always think about like, the production customers. Because like dev environment, hardly we have 40 to 50 developer, and we have hardly like, 500 to 600 records. But coming to the production, the same application is moving into the production. We have lakhs of customer base is there. The code what you people have written that handle like, all the people, all the customers that are related to your business. So that is the reason. Don't think like, always at a dev perspective. While doing the development, your code should work even for the deployment also in the production. That is how you're supposed to write. Now you see, I have all the data over here. Now that data, I just wanted to display to the user. Now let me go to here, and then I'm going to use a div which contains a class that is container. And then let's have h1 example with HTTP client, I can say, and I'll be using some HR tag. After that, maybe I can go with a table. Let's have a table, table, table hyphen. Over that what I can give, where I can have tr, I have the th, id, and then name, and then th image. If you want to display all, you can, but I'm just displaying only this one. And after that, tr, and then tell me, man. ng for is equal to let item of where that items are available under the product, so that I'll go to the HTML and then giving it over there where I can have the TD, and then I'll be giving what item dot you see ID. After that we'll be having another TD where I can give item dot item dot name is available. Okay, maybe I can give title. Okay, very good. And the next one is the TD where I can have an image, and I'll be giving this SRC here. This is, I hope you people know. So that item dot I'll be giving an image, and I'll give some height and weight. Height as 50, and then width is also going to be 50. Now everything is ready. Now how do I execute it? How do I execute? What is the component name here? App product details is the component. I'll go to my app module, because app module is the one. I'll go to that app module, and then I'm giving like, sorry. App module is the one, so that what I can do, I'll go to my index.html where I can give it over there. Sorry. Okay, where I can give it over here, and in the app module, instead of doing that, I'm using what product component only, right? Product details component. I'll go to here, and then let me get it. Product detail component, and where it is available? It is available under product/product detail and the product detail. Okay, that's it. And save this application, and now you can run. Let me clear the screen. ng yes -o project is equal to services demo. That what I okay, now we don't have the data. Right click and go to that inspect source network, sorry, console. Null injector, we have an error. What is that error here? HTTP client. Now HTTP client is a class, as I told you, that is a service. By default it is available under some module. That is what we call it as HTTP client module. So that I'll go to my product details, product module. Let me go to that, and here I am importing a module that is a HTTP client module, that what I can say, which is available under @angular/common/HTTP, that what we are having. Now save it and then come back here. Understood why do we use? Yes or no? If I'll blindly write like HTTP client module very initially, then we are not getting this error. Then definitely, like, once if I upload the component and the service, then I'm getting Srikanta, I'm running your code, but I'm not getting an output. But if I explain, like, if I'm not applying this HTTP client module, what error you will be getting, then definitely that will be registered in your brain. That is only the reason where, Kumar, I just ignored your message. I saw your message, but I just ignored because of that. If you are not included, we'll get an error. From the error, if you learn something, that will register in your brain for long time. Definitely. You can try that also. You can try. Now you can see, I use the HTTP client module, and then you can just refresh it once again. Now still you have an error. What is that error? What is that error? Still we have it. Now you can see I'm running my application here. It is compiled successfully, but still we have an error. What is that error? See, from where we are running the component, tell me. Generally, we are running the component from where? App module only. So that is where it is looking from that module. That is where you can see what happened. R3 injector error, app module, product service HTTP client. That means it is looking from that particular module it is required. But anyhow, I have registered it in another module so that what I can do, I am going to import this module over here. In my app module, what I want to do, I am going to have this particular, that is the product module that I'll be giving. Now, once you can save this application, am I able to see that output or not? Yes or no? That means, Srikanth, why you have written like that? Maybe why don't we import that HTTP client module directly on that app module? Yes, you can do that one also. That is also fine. Suppose, let's say, in my product module, this is my product module. If I added like, the 10 import statement, just assume that I added like, the forms module, or else if you can go with the Angular material UI is available. There for every component, a separate modules are available. I will show you. Material UI. Angular material UI. Okay. Material UI you can take, and we have like list of components here. Suppose if you can go to the badge is available in which module? You see that mat badge module is available, right? And the same way, suppose if you can go to the card and go to that API, it is available under the different module or not? Somewhere you can see exported, selected, card subtitle. This is also available in a different module. Let me go to that example. You have the code. TS file. You see that mat card module is available or not? See that under that import section, you can see I'm importing these modules or not? Yes or no? And the same way, suppose let's say you can go to the core. Core is also having like, an API, and there also I have a module. See, I created a separate module for my application. I used all that Angular material, and then I wanted to run it in another module. Maybe in the app module, my application is running, but all the modules I register in the product. Then if you wanted to run your page, you have to integrate the same module one more time in the app also, right? Yes or no? Whatever the modules we have imported here in your products module, all these modules one more time, you have to import it in the app module only, app module also. Then only your application will work. Otherwise it won't work. So how to overcome that? For that reason, why should I import these many? I'm creating this as a group so that I'll be giving what? Product module directly. The module that you people have created, if you can give that module, automatically it imports everything what we have in that module. It is kind of container, I can say. So if you can have like that, there you can see, I'm able to see like all the data that what we are having here. Clear na? This is how we will work with module and services. And here I'm using what service? HTTP client service, which is very, very, very important in our practical environment. Srikanth, how to do the post? Same thing, man. Nothing is there. In place of get, you can go with the post. In place of post, you can go with the put. In place of put, you may write the delete also. Clear, everyone? Tell me. Any questions here? Just to do, let me know. I'll explain. Any questions for anyone? Sir, if you have a huge data, how can we manage data with HTTP call? Any data it is going to be, if you are using RxJS, that is asynchronous. It doesn't matter like, how much data it is going to be. This is the place where you can handle it, Anil. You don't need to write like, the separate logic. If the data is more, if the data is less, don't need to write the separate logic. We have two things, synchronous or asynchronous. Data is less, go with synchronous, because like it will give you the output like in a faster rate. If the data is more, go with what? Asynchronous. That's it. What is the use of material UI? Nothing. So far we use the Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a third party tool. Who owned the Bootstrap? What company? What is the company? Twitter. Okay, Twitter is the company, and Angular is maintained by, thanks, Google company. So obviously these two are third party, right? There is no relation between them. Why should I depend on like, the third party tool, as I'm also going to be ready with my own user interface? That is only the intention behind Angular Material UI. Otherwise, there is no use of it. I can say hardly 20% of the projects they are using Material, 80% of our real-time implementation with Bootstrap only. The challenge is Material UI can be implemented by only the Angular developers. But coming to the Bootstrap, it can be implemented by Angular developer, UI developer, pure UI developers can write that Bootstrap, right? And even .NET and Java people also, they can keep hands on the Bootstrap easily, because it's going to be, Angular UI also open source, man. Okay. So that is only the reason where Bootstrap is much more popular in practical, but if it is Material UI, then it's not. I mean, not that much important according to me, but still, Shrikant, don't we have used, we are using, but hardly very less number of projects. If you are a lucky guy, you will be working on it. Okay, so that is what is Prime NG? I don't know. Okay, so this is all about like, performing a get action. Same question, if they can ask in Google, it will give you a lot of content, right? I'm not the Google and Chat GPT to know everything. I'm a human, man. Okay, so what you guys can do, just you can practice this, and tomorrow what I'm planning is I'll be developing a simple application by performing the get operation, where you can it's already 10:20. Okay, where we cover like, still as I told you, 3 more concepts with respect to the routing. That is the child route, and the next one is what I told you, child routing, route guard, how to secure the routes. And the third one is going to be route parameters, right? Route parameter, I'll be including like all together in an application and will build. Okay, how to create the child routes and all by performing like, this RxJS operation one more time. Okay, tomorrow also I'll be explain you for one more time, and then I'm going to give it to you. I mean, I'll upload this example for today, don't worry. But tomorrow, like what I can do is, I'll be taking this one and making different call and getting the required data and perform, show you. And in the next Wednesday, right? Today, Thursday, tomorrow, I'll try to complete that. On Friday, we will target like, to perform the CRUD operations. If anyone have the laptop, which is installed with Java and web service. Okay, because I'm a .NET developer. I'm a pure full stack .NET developer. I don't know anything about the Java. I know the syntax, but I don't know like how it was implemented in Java. If anyone knows about a web service, okay, prepare some web service and give it to me. Same application, whatever I build for the front end, for the .NET, no need to like give it to me. You can just plug in that and change the URL. That will work even for the Java also. If you are a Python developer, the same thing, URLs are going to be changed apart from nothing. Okay, that is how I'm designing an application. I'll show you that, like how to perform CRUD operation end to end. That means from the HTML to till the database to HTML. All complete flow will target it on Friday. Okay, complete flow will target it on Friday. With that, like, the major concepts are done, and like couple of miscellaneous concept like material UI, RxJS operator, uh, what we are having, unit testing if you need. Okay, so like that we'll spend like 3-4 days on those concepts. By the next week I'm targeting to finish it. If you have any doubts, you please practice now at least, and then ask me. I saw like everybody like they are executing the same code that what I have provided, and they are not able to get an output. It's all because I did like some modifications on the module file. Intentionally I'm not giving it to you, because if I'm giving like in module this is happen, or in like HTML this is happen, what you guys are doing, they simply like open and they run like ngs-o and getting an output, and then open the YouTube or Insta. So that is the reason intentionally I'm missing something. Please find out yourself. Okay, please find out yourself so that you will be getting. Otherwise, this is not a rocket science. If something which I build means, that is not a rocket science, definitely. Okay, so just please follow it and practice hardly 3 to 4 sessions. By the next week, Thursday, I'll target to complete. Okay, thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye. I face problem in practice. I have written about that. That is